Somali versus Somalian. Let's listen first.
Oh yeah, this Somalian person, a Somalian this, and I'm like, no, it's Somali because I thought that was the politically correct way to say it.
Yeah.
But you're now telling me I'm wrong, and I'm teaching the people wrong. So
Do you
what is
know?
going on?
Nah. Do you know what it is? Do you know what it is? It's something I've been taught myself as well because I used to say like Somali myself as well until someone quite close to me has actually said, why is it that it's Somali and not Somalian? And I could never answer that. So ever since that day, it was like, do you know what? That makes sense because once like, a person explained it to me and I looked into it and I've done research. The thing is with Somali and Somalian is the reason why it's Somalian is because for Latin word and at the end is the people of. So you got the people of, so you got the end people of Somali. So that's why it says Somalian.
Okay.
Likewise with Ethiopian, Gambian, Algerian, but why is it not Ethiopia?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know how we say Somali?
Yeah.
Why is it not Ethiopia or Algeria
Yeah.
or Gambi?
Let me address it. Look, they are into something, and I started noticing actually people saying it Somalian, Somalian, and I kind of started asking myself. I said, "What is going on? There's something not quite right." You usually don't hear Somalian. You hear Somali or Somalis. But whatsoever, I never paid attention to it really. Now these two people are these two brothers are a brother and a sister are discussing it, and the brother is raising a legitimate points. He's, for example, comparing to Ethiopia, Nigeria, because someone is Ethiopian and another a Nigerian is a Nigerian. What is going on? Is there such thing? Can we compare that to Somalis? Is there Somalian? Well, my understanding of it is, yes, there can be Somalian, but that's the normal because the concept of Somalian. First of all, let me go back one step. When you say Ethiopian, you are describing someone who is associated or become an Ethiopian, which by normally is something majority of the people are. They associate themselves. Let's, for example, I'm Australian. I'm not an Australian. I'm an Australian. Why? Because I was something definitely before I become Australian, and therefore I have adopted, I have taken as an option to be Australian. Therefore, Australia existed before me, and also it can exist after me. Meaning, it's even been discussed in Australia, and sometimes we know it's in the West, and people citizenship or nationalism can be taken back, can be taken away, which means I am now Australian. I was not always Australian. I become Australian, and therefore I can also be later an Australian. I can become a not Australia because if I hope that I would not, if I do something bad, and then maybe it can be taken away. That thing, that is the association. That's something you adopted. You even you can be made. You can also be made. Not only you adopted it, but it can be made. For example, for whatever reason, some authorities, some systems, some people decided to say, "Oh, you are part of this, people, this community." You become. Why am I emphasizing that? Why am I saying that? And what is the difference between to Somalia? Well, Somalis by nature, the vast majorities of Somalis are Somali by their nature. They did not become Somalis. I'm talking about the vast majority. Of course, there's people who can become, but it is not the norm. The norm is almost all Somalis are by them nature Somalis. That's why we call Somalis a homogeneous. Is that the right word? Homogeneous society. One religion, pretty much, not necessarily 100%, but in mathematically we can say 100%. Mathematically, 99.9% Somalis are Muslim. When I say 100%, that means not every single person. It's not. But mathematically, general mathematics. One religion, one culture, one language, and by and large, one geography, one area. Yeah, someone can say, for example, there is, they're in a different countries nowadays. But even that is not a natural thing. It is not natural. It is unnatural for Somalis to be in different countries, because it only happened in the last, whatever, I don't know, 60, 70 years or something like that, that there are a republic called Djibouti. It's a different government. That's actually so recent. When that been created, that republic was it in the 70s? So less than 50 years. And then around 60 years, or maybe 70, or whatever, even make it 100 years, the other Somalis being added without necessarily then approving or accepting it to Ethiopia and also to Kenya. So therefore, that's even that the existence of different governments, different system. It's a very new, and then we add that on top of that, we add the diaspora, the people who went to other countries, who are adopted. So they are different countries. But if we just for a moment pause that the Somalis are one language, one religion, one culture, one ethnic, and one geography, one area together. Yes, as I said, there's some different governments, but even that, there's no really a solid different where they cannot cross each other. They cross each other. They're still Somalis. People who live who are in the border between Somali Republic and, let's say, Ethiopia, they still cross the borders. They still are what they've been for centuries. Same thing in Kenya. Same thing in Djibouti. So nothing has been put in between them to actually stop it. Now, so to go back to an answer, try to answer Somali and Somalian. I don't believe you can compare. Somali and Ethiopia, because there is the vast majority of the Ethiopians, people who are associated with Ethiopia, are different ethnic. So therefore, they are incorporated, whether willingly or unwillingly. That's the fact. It's been been reported that some Ethiopia is made of 80 ethnic languages. 80 different ethnics with different language, with different culture, even different religion. Yeah, some of them Christian, majority of course I think Christian, yeah, or Muslim actually, yeah, Muslim, Christian, even Judaism, and those with no religion or any, not the particular religion is we're familiar. But that sort of thing does not exist in Somalia. Kenya is the same thing. Nigeria, I'm sure, is the same thing. It's made of different nations. We can actually say that. We should not shy away from it. It's made of different nations. Therefore, to say Nigerian makes sense, because it is an association of nations, of people of different culture, different background, who are being associated, who are into there. Where the Somalis are different. It is different. Yeah, there is some, when I say language, there is a dialect. I'm not denying absolutely. But by and large, even that dialect, it's very, very similar to the other languages. So it's not that much possible. Even if you make it the language, something out of it, they quite understandable. It's quite easily, understandable. That's the only thing we can actually point to it, where there is a solid, community of Somalis who speak different dialect, where some might struggle to understand. But when it comes to religion, one. When it comes to culture, almost one. When it comes to look and color, one. So that's why, therefore, there is no Somalian. It's very little. The minority, the people who've been associated into the Somalis, who are not by their nature, their ethnicity, by their origin, might not be Somalis, who became Somalis or been made Somalis, are almost in existence, where there is a significant of people who are made or become or chose, whatever you call it, Ethiopian, similarly Nigerian, in other countries. So I don't believe it is a Latin. Around here you can just say, oh, we call other countries this way, therefore we call it. I think that's what it is. I really do. I'm happy to hear what people have to say, but I believe that is what is going on. It is the Somalis are one community. The vast majority of the Somalis are one community with one background, the same background, the same. No, there's no. Therefore, by and large, the Somalis don't become Somalian. They are Somali, and the terms is Somalian, Australian, Ethiopian, Nigerian, Gambian is, I think, intended to separate that. I hope that makes sense.